Here are my top 5 stage directions in an inspector calls. My first one on the list is from the very beginning of the play, and it goes, the lighting should be pink and intimate until the inspector arrives, and then it should be brighter and harder. The lighting shift is one of the most important stage directions in the entire play. At first, the warm, soft lighting creates a cozy illusion of comfort, symbolizing how the Burlings see themselves as perfect, respectable and secure. But when the inspector arrives, the lighting becomes brighter and harder, reflecting how he exposes uncomfortable truths. The stage itself becomes a metaphor for interrogation, showing that the inspector brings a sense of clarity and that he forces the characters to face reality. Number 2 is to do with a description of their dining room, and it goes, the general effect is substantial and heavily comfortable, but not cozy and home-like. The Burling dining room is large, solid and expensive, but it is noticeably not warm or homely. This stage direction immediately shows the audience that just because you might be wealthy, this doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be happy or compassionate. The room reflects the Burlings themselves. They are focused on their appearance and status in society rather than genuine warmth or connection. Priestley uses this environment to criticize upper-class materialism, showing that there's only really emotional coldness behind that impressive image that they so desperately try to keep up. At number 3, I have a description of Mr. Burling. The stage direction goes, he's a heavy-looking, rather portentous man who is provincial in his speech. This stage direction introduces Mr. Burling as self-important and eager to impress, yet insecure beneath the surface. Portentous suggests he takes himself far too seriously and thinks very highly of himself, while being provincial hints that he had to work his way up and does not come from traditional upper-class roots, which also explains why he tries so hard to appear respectable. Priestley uses this to mock Mr. Burling before he even speaks, preparing the audience to distrust his confident claims about the future, especially his disastrous predictions about the Titanic and war. At 4th place, I have Eric, who's described as being not quite at ease, half shy, half assertive. Eric's uneasy body language reveals his inner conflict from the very beginning. He does not fit comfortably into the confident upper-class role expected of him. Being half shy, half assertive shows his lack of identity, hinting at deeper problems, guilt, immaturity and moral confusion. Priestley uses this subtle direction to foreshadow Eric's involvement with Eva Smith and the emotional turmoil he will experience once the truth unfolds. Lastly, we have one of the most critical moments in the play. We hear the sharp ring of a doorbell. Mr. Burling stops to listen. The sharpness of the doorbell is very symbolic. It cuts violently through Mr. Burling's speech about individualism and how a man has to mind his own business, acting almost like a moral interruption. The inspector's arrival stops Mr. Burling's capitalist lecture mid-flow, showing Priestley's intention to challenge Mr. Burling's beliefs for the rest of the play. So this stage direction is important because the doorbell acts as the turning point of the play, the moment when comfort ends and the confrontation of capitalism truly begins. But these stage directions matter even more when we consider the historical context. Priestley sets the play in 1912, which is a time when the upper class were confident, powerful and convinced that their way of life would last forever. People like the Burlings believed in strict class hierarchy, individualism and their own moral superiority. These are all ideas that the stage directions quietly expose as being false or fragile. But the play was performed in 1945 just after 2 world wars had shown the dangers of greed, arrogance and ignorance. So a 1945 audience would recognize how wrong the Burlings are in their attitudes, and they would see the inspector and the stage directions that shape his presence as a call for social change, fairness and responsibility. Guys, if you enjoy these types of videos, please do let me know in the comments below. I mainly post on TikTok, but I'm going to try to find some time to post at least once a week on YouTube as well. Do let me know in the comments what play, poem, novel or book you'd like me to cover next. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on TikTok as well, because I post GCSE English content there daily.